Welcome to Tifa Letters, the summer edition by the Filipino American Woman Project. I'm your host, Jen Amos, here to read aloud letters inspired by real conversations with you. It all begins with one line. If I could say one thing. Because sometimes one thing is all we need to take up a little more space. Let's get started. Dear Wanda, if I could say one thing, it's this. I'm so sorry. I really do have a lot going on right now. I know that writing this letter is silly because I'm never going to share it with you. I don't want to bother you with more of my problems, You'll actually never know the things that I'm trying to get off my chest, and you'll only hear how sorry I am, because I really am. I'm really, really sorry. I'm sorry that I've been so busy to keep our friendship going, to keep up with our activism efforts. I'm so sorry that I couldn't say to you that I just didn't have time to keep showing up because, to be honest, I have a lot going on right now and I just didn't want to let you down. Again, I'm so sorry for the last minute canceled plans, for the unfinished tasks, the unread messages. I didn't mean for this to happen. Life just took over. Wanda, I really care about you, and I care about our friendship, and I care about what our movement is about. But I hope you know that I didn't mean to hurt anyone, especially you, who became my closest friend, like the big sister I never had. I wish I could have been more helpful. I mean, I still want to be helpful if you have me, because Wanda... No, Woke Woe, your nickname. You came into my life in the most unexpected way. At the time, I didn't realize I needed you the most. One day, I was walking across campus and my head was filled with thoughts, heavy thoughts, and my heart was just heavy with pain. My boyfriend and I had just broken up, and I was just trying so hard to make sense of everything. I was just trying to understand, trying to figure out a way to just make it all hurt less. Most of all, I needed to move on. I needed something to fill in the void that was my boyfriend. I needed to feel like I can do better, be better, have better. So then, in the middle of my thoughts, that's when you crossed my path. Walking across campus, little did I realize that I accidentally walked into rush week for the frats and the sororities, as well as the student organizations. Hey, are you Filipino? My concentration was broken. Without realizing that I was just in a haze of my own thoughts, I was interrupted by your voice. And before I could say anything else, I said, "Yeah, I am." I raised my eyes to give this person eye contact. But before I could, I was handed a flyer. And before I could think to turn it down, I took it. And then I looked at you. The look on your face, my first impression of you, whoa, looked as though you were ready to raise your fist up in the air and lead an epic march. Filipinos have to fight against our oppressors, is what you said. By the way, what's your name? And before I could process what you just said, I responded, "My name is Nancy, but I go by Nance." Now, that is easy for me to do, to set the tone for my preferred name, Nance, not Nancy. Well, nice to meet you, Nance. I'm Wanda. But I go by Woe because I prefer it. I smile and I say, totally get that. And just by that shared connection of both of us disliking our government names, she said, "Hey, what are you doing Friday afternoon?" And before I could think to say anything else, I blurted out, "Nothing. What's going on?" And then in my mind, I thought, what's going on? Nance, why did you have to ask that question? Great. Whoa responds, "I'd love to see you at our student organization. We have a meeting every Fridays at noon at the student center. By the way, what's your social? I'll DM you the room number." And before I could say no, I pulled out my phone and I said, "Sounds great." And we both followed each other. "Great," says Woe. "I'll be looking for you, Nance." "Nance, can I give you a hug? Are you a hugger?" And before I could hug myself out of protection, I automatically opened my arms and said, "Yeah, I love hugs." So I give Woe a hug and I walk off, not exactly understanding what just happened. Either way, I said yes. I can't say no. I can't turn back on saying yes. And you know what? Maybe this is just what I was looking for. Maybe this is the thing I need to move on from my ex-boyfriend. Friday comes, and to my surprise, I really enjoyed my first meeting. It turned out that Woe, everyone here actually calls her Woke Woe, but anyway, it turned out that Woe was the president of this Filipino organization. She was the first one to greet me at the door, and she made sure that she said goodbye as I was sneaking out at the end of the meeting. "I'll see you next week, Nance," she asks. And again, before I could say no, I said, "Absolutely. Thanks again for inviting me, Woe. Can't wait." As I walk away, my mind just starts racing. Can't wait? I mean, I liked today's meeting, but I said yes already. At the very least, I now have a place to go Friday afternoons, and Woe seems to really like me. And I like their cause, so yeah, why not? Here we go. The weeks went on, and when I was done with school on Friday afternoons, I would go to Woe's weekly meetings. And, attending just felt like I was part of a greater cause. I started to feel that I had found a new sense of purpose. And eventually, after participating in my first march, I felt like I was destined to be there. It was really nice getting involved, feeling dependable, feeling like people enjoyed seeing me there. And most of all, it felt really nice being around Woe. I didn't want to let her down. She had an electric energy about her, a drive that was magnetic. She had confidence and conviction, and somehow she took me, of all people, under her wing. She treated me like a younger sister. And with her, I felt important. I felt like I had a mission in life. I felt like I mattered. And honestly, I didn't want to lose any of that. It became very normal for us to always say goodbye saying, "Love you, bye." Even in our text messages, "Thanks, love you." Whoa, you've become family to me. I wanted nothing more than to always be around you, to follow you, to support you, and to make a difference in our Filipino community together. The weeks went on, and of course, Woe being the president, it's not like she could spend all the time with me. So her friends became my friends. So if Wanda couldn't be around, I was around her friends by default, and I loved it. Somehow I felt extra special that even if Wanda wasn't around, I felt like the friends that she had me around made me feel like I needed to represent her well. I felt that I had a responsibility to spread love to anyone that became a part of our organization. No, our family, with you and I at the head of it. We set the vibe. I welcomed people in the way that Woe welcomed me. I took that initiative because I wanted to let people know whose organization, whose family they were stepping into. Like a first lady, I felt like I was an extension of Wanda. So while she was working in the front lines, I could nurture our family. I cared about the organization because I cared about us. Everyone always talked about how amazing you were, and I simply wanted to embody that by extension. But after a while, I felt as though I was spending more time with the organization members, which of course I get, and of course I'm happy to be here, and of course I'm happy to care for our people, but I was spending less time with you. Again, I get you're busy, and I get you're the president, and I get that you have your council, and I know I'm not part of the council. But honestly, Woe, I miss you. I miss what we had at the beginning of it all. Sometimes at our Friday meetings, when you were introducing yourself to the new people, I would dutifully come over and introduce myself as well. Honestly, I preferred it that way because I don't really like meeting new people, but so long as you're that bridge, I am more than happy to jump in and continue the conversation while you go ahead and make new friends. And then once I'm done with that person, I'm right next to you again, greeting the next person that you're welcoming into the organization. And selfishly, because you've gotten so busy, I kind of felt like that was my moment to bond with you, even just for a short moment, even if you weren't talking to me directly. You know, there was one day when I felt a shift, when I was about to stand next to you to introduce myself as well, and you just quickly walked away. I mean, didn't even say hi to me. You were already off to the next person. I mean, hey, maybe we're just in such a symbiotic relationship now that maybe it was intuitive. You knew that as you greet new people, I would jump in and continue the conversation, like handing off a baton. And I would do my part to bond with the new member, tell them about the organization, and let them know if they had any questions, they can always come to me. But, Woe, as our organization became bigger, because obviously you were just really good at growing our family, it all just started to feel overwhelming for me. The weekly meetings, the important marches, the logistics leading to the marches. Most of the time, I'm helping out while you're working with other people in the organization. Then one day came and you couldn't make it to the Friday meeting because you were sick. So the vice president ran the meeting. And somehow, just being there, it just felt so different without you. And without you, Woe, all of this, everything with this organization has become overwhelming. At the end of the day, I just want to chill. I mean, it's Friday. And it's school, it's just starting to get overwhelming. I know that when we're all around each other, we're just super gung-ho for being Filipino and talking about the next march or fighting against the latest oppressor. But honestly, outside of all that, gosh, I just want to do nothing. When I'm not around you or the organization, I just want to turn my phone off. I just want to indulge in entertainment. And sometimes I just want to do a little doom scrolling. I mean, a little doom scrolling doesn't hurt, right? But it's just a lot. It's a lot. And honestly, I don't want to burden you with my problems. I don't want to intrude on how mission oriented you are, but I'm overwhelmed. And the more I think about it, the more I just want to relax. And, well, I just want us to be us again. And it's not that you stopped reaching out to me or anything. I mean, I am part of the group text messages, so I get pinged like all the time. But Every time you reach out, you're just so full of energy and conviction. And before I could really tell you how I'm feeling, I wanted to show you that I could be like you too. I could match your energy too. I wanted to show you that I'm social, I'm dependable, I'm an activist too. But the busier you got and the less you saw me, honestly, it was those moments I could finally catch my breath, relax, and tune out. I could never say no in front of you, Woe. I couldn't help it. Call it a reflex, but like a teacher walking by my desk in class, I couldn't help but spring up, put on a show to show you that I was capable, to show you that I wasn't anxious, I wasn't spiraling, that I'm not really overwhelmed. But then the last march that we did, I hate to say this, but I never felt so lonely in a crowd of people, our family. Because while I wasn't by your side, you were there in the front lines while I was in the crowd with everyone else following behind you. How is it that we were first so close and now it just seems like you're so far away? Regardless, I had to be there because I didn't want to disappoint you. And I somehow thought that in showing up for this, we could recapture what we had at the beginning of our friendship. Our group couldn't have been more proud of when it was your time to step on the podium and give a speech on behalf of all of us. The crowd roared. And yet, at the same time, I had never felt so alone. I started to feel like I was caved in, that I was suffocating. And I was wondering, what am I doing here? At the end of that last march, I started to pay more attention to my grandma. You know, she was already always reminding me to come home for dinner every night anyway. And I did. And as I was enjoying dinner with my grandma and my family, I started to think about school. I started to think about things I should be doing. And I realized I was falling behind and I had to make up for the time that I was putting into this organization. I've neglected my studies. I've neglected my family. I needed to reprioritize. So I did. And every time I got a notification from our group messages or even from you, I just felt even more compelled to text my grandma. I mean, who knows how much longer she's going to be around, right? I don't want to regret not spending enough time with her. And I'm not trying to be avoidant. I just have a lot going on. And in our group chat, I just got tired of constantly apologizing. Sorry, I can't make it today. I have to go home to dinner early. Or, hey guys, I'm really sorry, but I need to study. I'm not doing well in school. Or, I'm so sorry, guys. I am so tired. I needed to catch up on sleep. I mean, heck, one time I accidentally missed our noon meetings because I thought I could take a nap in my car, and I ended up sleeping through the meeting. As time went on, I didn't want to keep saying, I'm sorry. I didn't want to keep sounding like a broken record. So I stopped texting the group. I left messages unanswered, and the more they piled up, the more I just did not want to look at them. I even turned off the notifications. Every now and then, when I would open up my text messages, I'd flinch, and I would just want to text my grandma. Who needs my help, by the way. I mean, she just started a garden, and I don't want her to hurt herself, you know? I need to make sure she's okay. It all started to feel so much when I felt a chill up my spine every time I got a direct message from you. And I know, Woe, that It took me a couple of days to respond, but I really just wanted to have you understand why I haven't been responsive. I had to think about the perfect message so that you knew, that you understood that it was something else than saying, I'm sorry. Besides, I picked up a paid internship and now I'm even busier. Because in case my grades aren't good enough, an internship goes a long way, right? That looks great on a resume. So to Woe and to our group chat and to just everyone else from this Filipino organization, I'm sorry. I'm just so busy. I wish I had more time because I miss you all and I love you all, but I just don't have time. Before I knew it, finals was over and winter break came, and boy, was it quiet. Of course, I spent time with my grandma and my family for the holidays, enjoying and taking in the holiday spirit. There was one moment after opening up presents. I was in a good mood. I was in a euphoric state. So I looked through my text messages wondering, who can I share this holiday spirit with? I wonder how my friends are doing. I wonder how blown up the group chat is. I mean, I must be hundreds of messages behind at this point. I pulled up the group chat, the very same one that I just haven't looked at for some time. And to my surprise, nothing. No new notifications. It got me to think, did they start a new chat without me? And then I decided to look up Woe's direct messages to me. I pulled it up, scrolled up, and noticed all the timestamps of how often we would message each other, until the more recent ones where they just seemed to really space out. Well, no matter. In the spirit of the holidays, I thought I'd message her and say, "Hey, Woe, I'm so sorry I haven't been around. Happy holidays. I love you and I miss you." And I gave her a heart emoji. In the past, I would almost always hear back from her immediately, if not within that day. But a couple of days passed. I started to think that maybe she either blocked me or changed phone numbers or something. I mean, she probably was just busy, holidays. But the day came, several days later, where I got a notification. I heard the ding on my phone and I got really excited. I pulled up my phone, I pulled up her message, and, well, the first thing I noticed is she gave me a thumbs up reaction to my message. Okay. And then she texted me, "Thanks." Oh, thanks. That's it? No, "Love you, miss you too," like we used to always do. But I was just so excited to see that she responded. I didn't even think to pause at the coldness of her message. I immediately reacted with a heart emoji. I stared at my phone, assuming that she saw it because I responded as soon as she text messaged me. I stared, waiting to see the thought bubble. I waited and I waited. I even kept my phone open as I decided to make myself some coffee. I came back, I looked at my phone, and that was that. That was it. No response to my heart emoji. No, "I love you, I miss you, let's hang out again." None of that. Time went on, winter break was over, the new year began, and before you know it, the annual rush week is taking place at school. Gosh, I can't believe a year has gone by since Woke Woe and I first met. But this time, unlike last year, I avoided the rush week area. I didn't want to accidentally walk into you or anyone else. And even though I avoided that area, I thought about you, Woe. Later, in between classes, I decided to, go on social and look you up. It's been a while. But the moment I did, I suddenly had a flashback of my ex-boyfriend when I had looked him up and found that he had someone new and that he was declaring his love for his new girlfriend. And like him, well, I guess you found someone new as well. You found someone else to take under your wing and call her the younger sister you never had. It's official. I've been replaced. I went down a deep rabbit hole looking at your socials and looking at our Filipino organization's socials and just looking at the highlights. It seemed like you moved on so quickly, and so did the organization. And it seems like you guys are all doing better without me. And look, I get it. You were the president. You needed to have people who believed in your cause. You needed people to show up, to be reliable, to take action. And in hindsight, I just wanted to be with you, Woe. I just wanted to be around you. I loved your energy. I loved your attentiveness. But maybe I just couldn't keep up. Maybe it was just more than I can handle. But I hope somehow my distance and my busyness makes you think, hey, Nance couldn't be here, but I know she's doing incredible things anyway. Because I did get busy. I know you would understand. You know what? I believe you would understand. I believe that if I told you everything, if I told you how busy my life got, how overwhelmed I got, how my grandma needed me, I know you would understand. Yeah, you definitely understand. So I guess that clears my conscience in that way. Even so, seeing that just like how my ex replaced me and now you have replaced me, even though I had my reasons and I believe that you'd understand, I believe that you'd get it, I can't help but ask myself, where did my busyness take me? How is it that I became so busy and yet looking at these photos and how everyone has moved on, how is it that I somehow feel like I've gotten nowhere, that I'm back at where I started? How did I get to this place? How did we get to this place, Woe? And if I could say one thing, it's this. Honestly, I don't know what went wrong in our relationship, but maybe things will get better in the next one. Love, Nance. If you could reflect on one thing, it's this. Reflect on the past relationships that have grown distant and ask yourself, did I play a role in this? Want to respond? You can reply today at tfaletters.com. That's TFAW, as in the Filipino American Woman, letters.com. Or better yet, write your own letter. Submissions are now open. You can include your name or stay completely anonymous. So, if you could say one thing, what would it be? Subscribe for free today at tfaletters.com and follow the steps in the welcome email to submit your letter. I hope to read yours in the next season. Until the next letter, bye for now.